It's time for Seriously, Let's Play.
So hi, and welcome to Seriously, Let's Play. So today we are going to be playing a very interesting game. It's going to be the Genesys system with the book, what is it called? Shadows of the Beanstalk?
It's Android.
Yeah, Android.
Shadow of the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
The science fiction campaign setting.
Before we go too far into that, I actually have a new table today with some new people at it. So I have Roxy.
I'm Roxanne Thompson. You guys are probably very used to my voice. I think I'm on most of these. So, I'm one half of Passion Nerdly Podcasts. And I am playing Lieutenant Rory McKiernan of the NAPD, and I am a cyborg with a military background.
And then we've also got Laura joining us today.
Yes, I'm Laura McMeans. I am brand new to the table, and I am super stoked to be here. I work with Roxy at Space Cadets, so that's kind of my tie-in there. And I am playing Samantha Vega, sort of. We'll get more into that later, but
we'll learn about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll just, you know what? We'll leave it there.
Nice.
I'm Justine Chauvin. I also work at Space Cadets. I'm the newest addition. And I am playing Jaxine Miller, who is sort of Sam's assistant.
And today we're joined by Deborah.
Thank you, John. Yes, I'm Deborah Parizek, and I met John and Roxy at Dragon's Lair North, and have done another podcast with John talking about my game, Everyverse RPG. And that's how I met everybody. I'm playing Sahaya Mitchell, and I'm the natural roughneck.
Going from there, so you have a game, and people who have heard my other podcast, which is Tome Travelers, know about it, but it's Everyverse, the RPG.
Yes, it is. Thank you, John. You and I talked, a little over a year ago about it. And Everyverse is a generic rule set that you can apply to anything from the Middle Ages to spacefaring to whatever you feel like. Contemporary if you want. And we're about to put the fourth book out.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
For our listeners, Everyverse, if you go to the con circuit here in the local area, you'll definitely run into Deborah. At the same time, she was at Gen Con this year, and you are a proud member of the Independent Game Designers Network. So
I am.
Congratulations. Thank
you so much, John. If you hadn't told me about it, I probably wouldn't be there yet.
I love everything they do, so I'm always happy to point people their direction.
Yeah, we had a wonderful Gen Con. It was amazing. I mean, it would have been even better if we'd have run into you guys, but... it
was a crazy con.
We had a really great time, and I was very lucky to have some friends in to help me run the games.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I think it's cool that you're at the table for this, because Genesys is the same. I mean, not the same, because your game is Everyverse is completely unique in the mechanics, but it is a framework game, and so in this game that we're playing tonight, we're using the Genesys framework with the Android setting slapped over the top of it. So if you like that idea, definitely check out Everyverse RPG, because it really can be anything that you want it to be. And it's a completely unique system that I think stands well on its own. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, so for our listeners, yes, this is the Genesys system, and it's by Fantasy Flight. If you've ever had any games or played any games from Fantasy Flight, you know that most of their systems use a proprietary dice system, which means that their dice are unlike any other dice that you're going to find. There's a very different way of determining success and failure, and it's done pictorially. Now, some of their books have like conversion charts if you want to use your own.
There's a conversion chart in the Genesys book.
But for the most part, the easiest way to play is with Fantasy Flight's dice, and it's really cool in that way. But I do want to say that their dice sets only come in a singular pattern and and within a single color framework. And I will say this, and pardon me for saying it, but I love your games, Fantasy Flight, but can you put out some like metallic dice or something? Because I would love to have more dice at the table that people can tell apart. I love it. I love your system, please.
Metallic dice are the best.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
They would have to still reside within the colors, because that's how the character sheets are built, by showing the dice shape and the color associated with it.
But that way players and DMs can all have their own individual dice pools, and if they get mixed together, you know whose is whose.
You all right, buddy?
So,
Well,
just
what
saying.
about like varying
He got tangled up in
shades, like a
Yeah.
dark
and I was-
blue and a light blue?
Exactly. So,
Yeah, he's with me.
yeah. So Fantasy Flight, we love your games. Love us back.
You know, we.
Yeah. Anyway, this universe, the Android universe, is a cyberpunk universe with a lot of nods to some of the great 80s cyberpunk movies, or at least what many people from the 80s thought were great cyberpunk movies, being Blade Runner.
John and I just had a recent, because I just watched Blade Runner for the first time in ever the other day, and I was like, this movie is terrible. I was like,
Oh my goodness! I am so glad I'm not the only one.
it is so boring.
I never finished it. I
and
just couldn't.
I finished it. Now, I liked the new one, but I think, again, it's a cinematography thing from Ridley Scott in
Yeah.
79 or whatever to whoever did the new one in 2018. And I was like, okay, this one, maybe because, I don't know,
Well,
for a number of reasons. But yeah, we had a huge kind of like mini argument
Yeah.
on the way to the Christmas party yesterday
Yeah.
about cyberpunk and my ill feelings towards
God willing, better and newer cyberpunk movies come out that embrace a little bit more of what people are looking for as far as pacing goes, which I think is the biggest argument with Blade Runner.
Sure.
But what set Blade Runner apart was that it was a noir detective story. And so what better way to step into the universe of Shadow of the Beanstalk Android by going with a noir detective story?
Nice segue.
yes.
Okay.
Well done.
Works for me.
It is a lonely, cold night for one individual who wakes up.
That's me.
Yeah.
Can you even tell temperature? I mean, do you feel cold anymore?
I don't think I do.
You sit up within what is essentially a crate covered in plastic, and there are memories within you. You know who you are, or maybe it's who you were, but you wake up in this crate, the top opening up in front of you, looking around this dimly lit warehouse, boxes covered in cobwebs and dust, sounds of machinery and other things in the background. And there's one memory that is in the back of your head that kind of echoes, and that was the memory of your inception. And that was the last memory you had was that you were going to create a back of yourself and place it into a bioroid. And in that bioroid would be your memories and your skills to investigate should you ever die. Ha
Like that would happen.
like that would happen. But looking down at your arms, they're not your arms. It's not your body. You are the bioroid. And this, looking around, this crate has obviously been here for quite some time. There was a transceiver, this also you know, transceiver that was implanted into you. That would, if that transceiver ever ceased to receive a pulse, is attached to you, if your pulse ever ceased, you would awaken. This android, this bioroid, would awaken. So, what are some thoughts going through your head at this point?
My first thought is how angry I am that this facility is so ill-maintained. I really thought they would have done a better job of taking care of the bioroids in the event that one woke up and they would not find themselves in this condition. I'm going to speak to a manager.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That is my first thought, but the more pressing concern immediately following that is, oh, poo, this means I'm dead.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating. I mean, fortunate timing, because I did die immediately after I created this bioroid, as far as I know, because these are all the memories that I have.
Yep.
Yeah. So, your character would awaken, and one of the thoughts that would probably be in your head is, I need to know what's going on. And who better to find this out from than your former associates.
Absolutely. I must check in with Jaxine first. I think that she would have a copy of my schedule and she would know that where I am right now. It's probably been a few months since I was actually created. So I'm not really sure what case I'm working right now. So I think I'm going to go check in with Jaxine.
All right. So Jaxine, you receive a call, probably over the net, from your boss. But the face that appears in front of you, let's go ahead and address this. What do you look like? Do you actually look like yourself, or is this just a generic android body that you uploaded yourself to?
I mean, it is for the most part a generic android body. I was allowed to pick hair and eye color. But, since my own hair and eye color are pretty basic, I'm just mousy brown with hazel eyes. Other than that, my skin is, due to the mechanics, it's got different colors. For the panels are just slightly varying shades. I didn't pay for the full shade matching upgrade. That was not worth it. But otherwise, it's just a plain, simple white tunic covering my body. But I appear fairly human, very nondescript.
Nice.
Cool. So, Jaxine, you get this call. Before we go into what you think or what is going on in your interactions, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character and what your character looks like?
Okay. Well, Jaxine, I have written in her details, looks like an assistant, which is a little vague. I'm thinking more like Anne Hathaway from The Devil Wears Prada, when she's just starting to get into her job.
Okay. Just starting.
But she doesn't have, the Chanel boots.
Okay.
So not that fancy.
Nice.
All right. So you received this call, and what is your response?
Well, first off, how long has Sam been gone? Or not called in, or...
So the Sam has not called in about a week.
Then I'm gonna assume that our little office has just... all heck has broken loose. And I guess when you call... I don't recognize you, right? Because you're different?
I imagine that I would have casually mentioned that I made a biovoid of myself in the event of my unlikely death, because I'm very good at covering my tracks, So, you're definitely aware of the biovoid's existence.
Okay. I guess my first instinct is to say, we're not taking any more clients at this time. Our schedule has been backed up and clients have been postponed for the past...
This is Sam. It's the biovoid. I don't know what's going on. I assume that I'm dead, and we need to figure it out.
Well, if you're dead, we're going to have to further postpone some of those clients.
Yes. What? Yes, cancel all my appointments.
Got it?
Yes.
Canceling those.
I'm
not
very
really
work-focused.
Well, you are a clone, so that is in your programming, or your kind of...
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is essentially, you wake up, as a clone, you wake up as a fully formed, functional being yourself, with skills. And so it would probably be, I'm using the skills that I've known since day one. That would make a lot of sense. Who else at this point would you be contacting?
Oh, my goodness. So who has helped me out in a pickle before? I think that my old buddy Rory from the police force has definitely been a helpful resource in figuring out some difficult cases. So I guess I'm going to give Rory a call, knowing that apparently Rory is not going to have any idea who I am. We'll give it a shot.
Okay. So, Rory, being played by Roxy.
Yep.
You receive a phone call from this individual. But before we go into that, let's go ahead and get a little bit idea of what you look like.
Okay. Rory is a stocky lass of about 5'8", but broad-shouldered, kind of thickly built, but not too much. I mean, it looks like, looks like she probably could have wrestled in high school. But has been on the force for a fair amount of time. Samantha Vega was actually who I was assigned to as a rookie partner when some years back, but I have worked my way up into I am a lieutenant now on the New Angeles Police Department. But yeah, side shave haircut, not unlike my own, and we'll go ahead and make it purple too, because why not? And but yeah, stocky, and has very distinct green eyes, kind of this color green, like VGA green, like that.
Green.
For those listeners and people at the table that remember when monitors came in one color.
Oh yeah, or
And there was amber, and then there was green, and sometimes you had a blue one, but that VGA green that looks very artificial. That is the color of my eyes. So, and I am shocked to get a call because I have not heard from Sam Vega in a long time, and hasn't needed my help. And I've been busy with other stuff, and so we probably just both don't call.
Yeah. Well, we're busy and work gets in the way, and you know how I feel about you. I mean,
we're good, and I'm like, you don't sound like yourself, but what's going on?
Yeah. Well, okay. So a while back, like a few months ago, I had this bioroid made, and do you remember you talking about doing that? And you used to say that you had kind of a definite fear of the big sleep, and so it doesn't surprise me that you would have taken some artificial precautions. Yeah.
But when last I talked, you hadn't done.
Right.
Hadn't done that.
Well, I went ahead and did it. I got, I saved up money, birthday money. And,
so where are
that
you?
kind of thing. I have no idea.
Okay.
I just woke up a couple of hours ago, and it's like a manual check thing that I'm only supposed to wake up if Sam, I guess we'll call her, stops responding.
Interesting. So I've got a homicide on my hands, and I've got no body. So this is interesting. I might need to take a few days.
Yeah, well, call the captain, cash in that vacation time, and
I might
help a sister out.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll let me see what I can do. I can be around yours in around 5.
Okay.
I don't eat dinner, so that sounds great.
I wonder if you still have the desire to eat, like in your head you're like, wow, that was really good and I really want to taste that, but you can't.
That'll definitely be something for the future.
Yeah. We'll as you muse out loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
Well, you know what? I hadn't thought about it now, but
I was going to bring you some coffee, but I don't even know if you
know
could
what? Bring
do
it.
that. Bring it. Oh, okay.
Always bring coffee.
All right. Yeah. There's a shop that I know that we always like. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anyone else that you would probably also reach out to?
There is. I usually try to make it to have dinner with my daughter, Sahaya. I try to check in with her, every couple of weeks or something, just to kind of see how things are going. Ask her if she's got a boyfriend yet, those kind of things.
Are you married?
Yeah. When am I getting grandchildren? That kind of stuff. So, I'm just going to give her a call because I have really, I think we just had dinner on Tuesday, but let's check in with her and see where she's at.
I mean, she might want to know that you're dead.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and I hate to deliver the news of my own death, but here we are.
So you reach out to Sahaya, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and introduce your character. What does your character look like?
Oh, let's see. She's probably, I'll say she's about 5'8", pretty well-muscled, and looked like she works out, but not really to excess. She just does a lot of hard work at the station and swings her sledgehammer. So she's got some pretty good upper body strength. I'd say she probably has a pretty low BMI. And let's see, red hair. I like purple, so we're gonna have a little purple streak in there. Probably just a little highlight and green eyes, but probably more tending toward hazel. And she tries to keep her skin nice, even though she does do some heavy-duty work at the station.
Okay. This would be an interesting moment, I would think, for Sam, because when you get this response, you do recognize Sahaya. Mm-hmm. But there's something else going on here. Like, okay, obviously, Rory wasn't a lieutenant last time you saw Rory. It's been a while. And you're like, okay, so obviously maybe a little bit more time than you think has passed. But now you're seeing Sahaya. Sahaya is definitely much older than you remember. In fact, level of adult, level of build, you're like, how much time has passed? So what would be your interaction at this point for you two?
Whoa.
Who is this? Sam?
Yes, I represent Samantha Vega. I need to let you know of her death.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
Nice of somebody to let me know.
Well, as far as we know, it just happened. So,
No, it's been a while since I've seen her.
Really?
I probably wouldn't recognize her if she came up and bit me.
Really, how long has it has been since you've seen her?
It would actually been
Years, like three or 4 years.
Okay. Well, I'll just use the experience from. But I guess the last time we had dinner was about 4 years ago.
Oh. Well, maybe did you think to pick up the phone and call her?
Well, that sounds a lot like my mother.
Well, maybe your mother's smarter than you think. Maybe she has your best interest in mind, and you should listen to her every once in a while.
Well, if you're representing her, tell her I still am not married.
Oh, that's a disappointment. She was really hoping
You and me
for
both.
children. Yes. Well, we're having a meeting about 5 o'clock to discuss the parameters of her passing or possibilities, therefore. Henceforth, please join us.
Okay, I'll see if I can make it.
And bring dessert.
Oh, all right. I'm sure. What does she like? I'm sure probably chocolate something, huh?
Well, of course.
Oh, well, is there anything else? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So your characters, about 5 o'clock, finally begin to make your way, or, to arrive there by 5. And we now have a room with all 4 of you present. Obviously, Sam is not the Sam you know. Most of you've come to realize that. And you also get a good idea.
But it kind of looks like what I remember a little bit.
The nose is a little different.
It is. It is.
It's awfully young to be mom.
It's too smooth. The skin is too smooth.
Yeah. And I will say that I think maybe McKiernan tried to keep in touch with you with Sahaya, just because I was around when you were littler, and so I'm probably aware that there's an estrangement, but not how bad or But it's been a while for everything. So, but I bring coffee.
I would like to think that as Sam's assistant, I would, for holidays, be in charge of sending, the
card.
fruit baskets and the cards.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I got those. They were fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We sent fruit baskets?
You're
yes,
welcome.
we sent fruit baskets. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, I'm glad you liked them. I picked them out from a catalog.
Yeah.
And had Jaxine.
And forgot I was allergic to strawberries.
I don't think it's an allergy. You just don't like to eat them.
No,
It's
really?
an excuse for not eating them.
It's a whole rash thing.
Sure it is.
Anaphylactic shock.
So this family reunion is going great. I assume you guys know why we're here. Obviously, our artificial friend here.
Yeah, okay.
My priority is finding the body. I should just point out. I mean, this is great and all, but we need to figure out what happened.
Now, as far as where this meeting would be taking place, obviously this is taking place at the practice for Sam. Would this be happening like right in that front foyer where her desk would be, or would this be someplace else in the office, or?
And what's the name of your investigation agency?
Oh my, I had not thought of that.
Is it
Oh,
Vega Investigation?
Yeah, Vega Investigations.
As simple as that?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Just straightforward and to the point.
yeah. Somebody looks up her name, they get it immediately. Somebody looks up an investigator, they get it that way.
Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
sense.
I'm in the yellow pages under private investigators.
It's actually Vegan Investigations, but everybody pronounced it vegan for a while, and you're like, no, I'm taking the N off, and we're just going to call it Vega.
Yes. Sure.
There was a
tired
small
of-
surge of when veganism was getting kind of trendy for a bit, where we were getting some clients.
Yeah,
It was by
They were
mistake.
confused.
Yeah, they were looking for vegan alternatives.
Yes,
for-
and then it turned into an investigation of actual organic practices and is the Impossible Whopper.
That I
really-
read about that in the paper. That was that was
Yeah.
like as close to being a whistleblower as you can be for not working for a company. But that was
Yeah. Yeah,
pretty,
that was some of my best
crazy.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
So I know we would have stepped into my private office meeting area. Jaxine, you need to join us.
As I join you, pick up a large stack of unsigned paperwork that Sam would have been in charge of signing, and just kind of
You're just
offer
like
it.
toting. You're carrying it around all day, and vegan or not vegan Sam, Bioroid Sam. I mean, I guess you're kind of vegan. You don't eat meat. You don't eat anything. But
you are the
Bioroid Sam, is-
Veganist of all vegans.
Yeah,
veganist. You've actually become a breatharian.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's all
Wow.
you need. Yeah, I survive only on O2, liquid through my lines.
A drop of a dew on the summer day.
That's right.
So you all go into this room and begin your discussion, and quite a discussion to be had. As obviously, when was the last time you saw her? When was the last time you saw her? And all this information begins to come out, and it does come around to obviously the murder.
Yeah.
Where did it take place? Why hasn't there been a body found yet? Things of this nature. And what was she last
Yeah.
doing?
What were you working on?
Yes, Jaxine. What was I working on?
When was the last time? What is the last thing you remember? I mean, surely Sam was uploading stuff often. You
Yeah.
would think. I
I'm
mean,
curious about if you were ever updated with memories. It sounds like no.
I think not, because last I knew, Sahaya was,
still in college.
Yes, in college. I mean, we were talking about graduation. She said she didn't want to party, and I didn't understand that. So, I guess that's why we're not talking anymore, apparently. But,
Well,
that's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know if we
and
should
so-
worry about why you guys aren't talking.
You didn't like my last boyfriend. Ooh, you were mean.
Well, he was not good enough for you. I mean, you have to see that. And you say he's your last boyfriend, so apparently you broke up. I am happy about that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe we can build on that.
Maybe. We'll see.
So, do you have her agenda, Jaxine? Where would they have been? So you said you haven't seen him in a week?
Yes, a little over the week. I think the last conversation we had was when you were spread out over the couch complaining about how it was a man's world and, the usual.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Things never
that-
change. In a world of
do you
inconsistency.
understand how difficult it is to be a woman private investigator? Okay, no one respects you. No one believes that you can do the job. Okay, and I'm just saying the men get paid twice as much for half the work.
I grab a stack of the papers and I start fanning her, just on sheer impulse.
Probably bioregulated, though, now.
Yeah. It's weird. Normally, I appreciate that, but I can't feel it at all. So
So is it just annoying then? I can
No,
stop.
no, you're fine.
Okay,
keep
I'll
doing
keep
it.
doing it.
I mean, a lot of stuff has changed in the last several years, Sam. Or, I mean, do you want us to call you Sam?
Yeah,
Still?
I mean, I don't know what else you would call me.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know either. I don't know. I just want to be respectful of most of the Bioroids I've met. Kind of have their own thing going on, and but this is kind of a unique situation. So,
As you're talking, you hear the sound of a crash and broken glass
Oh,
coming from the front office.
I just washed that window.
it looked lovely.
I know.
I'll go check.
I think somebody should go
I
check.
was like, yeah, can I?
You hear the door
Well, it's fine. I don't.
into the office begin to swing open, and loud footsteps entering the room.
I draw my sidearm.
Yeah. Yep. Totally going to do that too.
Agreed. Yes.
I now have clothes on and weapons.
Were you naked before?
No, I had just kind of like a white medical tunic, like a hospital robe kind of thing. I changed in the meantime.
No,
just
I
forgot
would
to
hope
throw that
so.
in.
I would hope so.
A plain sensible white shirt and blue jeans.
Okay. So somebody just goes and looks, opens the door. What do you do?
Oh no, there's this whole elaborate hand motions of, from you know.
And Rory just kind of squints because they never made sense, even when we were partners on the force. And I'm like,
Look, when I do this, it means I don't understand how.
I'm going to get out of the way. I don't have an.
You
a
are my
weapon.
best recruit. How could you not get this?
I mean, I get signals. I just this Vega sign language has never been my strong suit.
It's all right. I've learned to decode it over the years.
But I have.
will-
Thank you, Jaxine.
So I have a badge, and I'm just like, police freeze.
The sound of the movement in that room stops. So you're in another room. There's a door between you.
I would very carefully open the door, just like a little crack.
And look out.
And I'm like very like that weird. I'm like angling to try to just peer out the crack, but then be ready to.
Maybe let the door open. And
Oh, that's true. I
there'll be
could just
nobody
like stand
there.
back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
just-
that hand signal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that.
The door,
Just
does it swing out or does it swing in? Let's start there.
it swings in.
Yeah.
It swings in towards you.
It's my office. It swings in.
Yeah.
All right. So the door begins to swing in slowly. And peering, I'm taking it that Rory
Yep.
is peering out the door just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You
And
see,
I have cyber eyes. So
you see a figure clad in, of course, clad in black mask,
So
goggles, standing in the center of the room. With very mechanical precision, turns to look as the door swings open, and you watch as their arm kind of springs open with kind of a clockwork mechanical design,
crap.
and a weapon emerges from it.
Okay. So I do have infrared and night vision on, which I would assume that the room that we're in is. Were we talking in the dark?
No.
Or is it just daylight? It's still just like afternoon.
well, the theme
Right.
is noir.
So it's always dark.
It's
for me.
always
always.
dark.
So there's a dim lamp hanging
There's
from
a dim.
the ceiling.
There's one of those like
Yeah.
green shielded
Yeah,
lamps.
yes, exactly.
Nice. Okay.
It's like, rather than it being always sunny in Philadelphia, it's always dark in New
Angeles?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I do my own hand signal, and I'm like,
Oh, I'm getting down. I'm
Yeah,
behind,
I'm
like on the wall of the side, and I'm
Under
squatting
the
down.
table, sweetie.
The safety's off, and I've got my pistol cocked and aimed at the intruder, which probably reveals me to some degree. And I'm like, this is Lieutenant McKiernan, and I also still have my badge, I guess, in one hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to disarm your weapon.
And it raises its weapon. Now, what time are we at?
We're at about 36 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to snap and we'll keep going. All right? And I'll do it again, but snapping creates a large wave in my wave file, and so I can. It's kind of knowing where to cut and where to do stuff. So now y'all know I'm doing.
You don't have to hit yourself in the face this time.
So I think this is a good point for us to talk about initiative in this game.
Okay.
Uh-oh. And so initiative is a interesting system. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to roll cool.
Let's roll cool.
So
see if we're
it's
cool.
well, yeah, because this is going to be usually I have to choose whether it's going to be cool or vigilance, and you're going to roll cool because I think this wasn't so much something you were watching for. It's more like, oh, there's something out there,
Right.
and it's coming to attack.
Okay.
So let's see if y'all can keep your cool.
I have 1 green. Thank you.
Look at you with your 2 yellows.
Yes, I am very cool.
You're very cool.
I am too cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
well done.
Thank you. And no one groaned. Yay.
And so what's interesting about this is players agree on who will act. So is it
Yeah.
just determines...
Usually that's on our ties that we're going to worry about that.
Okay.
For the most part, what's going to happen is I need to know how many successes you got.
Okay, I got 2 successes.
2 successes. So let's see. That's Rory. Got 2. Sam?
2.
2.
And
All
1
right.
advantage, so with
Oh.
us being tied.
Jaxine?
Just 1 success.
1. And Sahaya. Sorry.
I guess the sun is a success?
Yes.
Okay. So I got 1, and that was all I needed.
Hmm? All right. And your assailant has also gotten 1 success. And as GM, I'm going to say that y'all will be able to go first.
Okay.
For those of y'all with 1 success. But between Sam and Rory, who is going to act first? Obviously, this thing, weapon popped out, and it has pointed it in your direction.
Well, I'm going to say you go first because
'Cause I see it?
Yeah, you see it, and I'm ready but unseen.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys would know that it has a weapon because I told it to disarm it. So you at least have verbal confirmation that there is a weapon present. But yeah, so I have my light pistol, my I believe it's a light pistol. Mm-hmm. And I am going to fire upon... what kind of range are we looking at on this, John? How far away from me is
This would be short range.
Short range?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to... My weapon is a medium weapon, but I think that I can still fire at short range without a penalty, I think.
Yeah.
So, or at least not too much of one.
You will get 1.
1 purple?
Yeah, 1 purple, which is the difficulty dice.
Yep.
So difficulty is a 1. And I am going to say that you also are going to have 1 setback. Because the door, you did not walk fully into the room.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
And let's see. I'm looking at just the maneuver. So I am going to... So this is my turn. So I am going to... I can do 1 maneuver and 1 action. Yeah, so the turn is you can take any number of incidentals, 1 maneuver and 1 action. I am going to go ahead and do a maneuver. I'm going to aim.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a blue die. On here it
Nice.
says add a boost die to your next combat check. And then for my action, I'm going to perform a combat check, which is going to be shooting the creature. So I'm going to roll 2 yellows, a purple, a black, and a blue. Which, so we're going to see what we have here. And melee is always average. Range depends on distance. Okay. Alright, so that's nothing.
Nothing on that one.
This is nothing. That cancels that. So that's a big nothing.
A big nothing.
A big nothing. So yeah, my success was canceled by a threat.
So there is
or a failure.
Yeah, there is the report of a gun, and just from reaction at this point, you were trying to shoot, but it's that police training that kicked in that don't shoot them in the head, try and aim a little bit lower so you might be able to get some information out of them if that's what it comes to, or it's not a lethal kill shot. but in that moment of trying to self-correct, you missed.
Okay.
So next up, we have Sam. What are you going to be doing?
Okay, well, I've already crouched down, and with my kind of back against the door, right, like there's the door frame,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of my back against it. I'm going to pop my head out and shoot.
Okay. All right, so you're going to be using your
My Fletcher pistol.
Fletcher pistol, so that'll
Yeah.
be a ranged light, I believe, correct?
Medium, it says.
Oh, ranged medium? Okay.
Oh, are you asking the
Yeah.
skill or the
For skill.
actual?
Should be for that weapon.
Yeah, so range light.
Yeah.
The range of the
okay.
weapon is medium.
Sorry.
Is what she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, ranged light. Oh, there it is. I see it right there. So I
Yeah.
get to roll a yellow one.
Nice.
All right. And so you'll be rolling that one with one difficulty dice, which is the purple dice.
Okay.
And that is going to be it.
So, did you want to aim before you did that?
Yes,
Okay,
I
if you
would love to
Then
aim
take a
before I
blue
do
one
that.
too.
Thank you.
Now, because you have, the way you described it, you have turned out into the room, that is why you're not going to have
Yeah.
the penalty that she had.
the
But
setback
also, if this guy shoots at you, there's not going to be a penalty for him shooting back.
Yeah, my whole torso is exposed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. This is nothing. This is
A success.
That is
that
a
is
triumph.
success.
Oh, that's a
it's
triumph.
a triumph. Okay, and
Yeah.
then this is a success and a failure.
So it's a threat.
It neutralizes.
It's a threat and a failure, but I don't think one failure can neutralize a
No.
triumph.
What will happen instead is the triumph, your success will still kick off, but you're looking at, more than likely, I'm going to add a blue dice to, which is the boost. I'm going to add that to my character because he's realized where you are, and
Okay.
if he has the opportunity to shoot back.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but altogether, so you are going to be able to damage him, and we need to figure that part out.
All right, so determine dice results and damage. If successful, +1 damage for each success. Now, a triumph counts as 2 successes. So right now you're at a 2, and then what is your damage on the
On the weapon.
itself?
Well, it says blast 4 and pierce 2.
What is right next to range
Oh,
light?
yeah. 4.
Okay, so 4 plus your 2 successes, so it's a 6.
6 damage. All right.
I understand now.
Yeah. Obviously, first time for any of my players to play this game.
Sure.
And so we are going to be trying to figure it out along with our listeners.
So,
Yay.
and there is always a chance that we're doing something a little wrong, and you can tell us in the comments,
absolutely.
but it's going to be months from now, so enjoy that. Enjoy being rude to the future
Or the past.
or the past, and
Or
we
the
don't
past.
we don't care
All
here.
right. So Jaxine and Sahaya, you are going to have the opportunity to go next. What are your actions? Who wants to go first? Let's start there between the two of
You
you.
go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Jaxine.
I think following Sam's suit, I'm going to. It feels like the door frame's probably getting a little crowded, so I'd like to just kind of put myself at risk and step into the middle so I can get a clear shot. And I'm going to fire with my my pistol.
It is getting a little crowded, so go ahead and take. You're going to get 1 difficulty, and you're going to get 1 setback. So that is going to be a purple die and a black die.
Oh, now can I take a moment to aim?
And that'll give you a blue die.
Okay.
And that's called the boost. Ooh.
Oh, that looks good. Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
feeling good about this. Okay,
all
so
positive.
nothing on the
Triumph.
black, nothing on the difficulty.
Yeah, so the dice that the 2 dice that could have negatively affected you, which is the setback and difficulty, came up with nothing on either. So nothing's going to detract from what you're doing, but it looks like you got a triumph. Is that what I see over there?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a triumph
A
and
success.
a success,
Which actually
2
looks like 2 successes and
2 advantages.
2 advantages. Okay,
Nice.
so that is the equivalent of 4 on top of the damage of the weapon. Let's start there.
Okay. Damage is 5.
Ooh.
And so I do have the book open to discuss resolving advantages and triumphs. and they can be spent in combat to do some other things. Like
Yes.
a triumph can activate a critical injury. So that's another thing that it can be doing.
Yeah, which really can come in handy. But in this case, this is a lot of damage. And it was only one foe. So it's going to be going down. But you are going to have 2 of the boosts that you have obtained. So is there anything that her boost could do on top of this?
So to spend your how many advantages did you get on there?
It was 2.
2. So you can either for 1 you can recover a strain, which you don't. You could add a blue die to the next allied character's check. Notice a single important point in the ongoing conflict. Inflict a critical injury. Activate an item quality. None of that matters. For 2, you can perform an immediate free maneuver that does not exceed the limit of the 2 maneuvers per turn. So you could move again, should you want to. Or you can add a black die to the targeted character's next check. Or add potentially 2 blues to, the next person.
And I will offer this up. That in exchange for those advantages, if you so wish, I will allow it to be you to use those to obtain information from this creature.
Okay, because that was my first question, is if I've already done the damage to kind of take them out, could I potentially say that I've crippled them and knocked them out of the fight without actually killing them?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, it actually has on the Triumph, you can either upgrade the difficulty of the targeted character's next check, upgrade the ability of an allied character's next check, do something vital such as shooting the controls to nearby blast doors. If you'd had 2 triumphs, you could have done damage. When doing damage, you could have destroyed a piece of equipment that the target was using. But with that many successes, you may allow that anyway.
Yeah. So essentially, to frame this scene, now that we have had this happen, if your character wishes to act in all this, what would they have done? Let's go ahead and ask that person.
Okay, my character has next to nothing to add to this situation. I don't have my sledgehammer, and that's all the weapon that I had. So I didn't bring it from the station.
Yeah.
So I'm basically hiding right now.
Okay. So framing this scene, this individual walks into the room. It looks like they had broken the glass on the door, that classic investigator's door, and opened it.
Always. First thing to
Frosted
go.
glass with the lettering.
First thing to go every time.
And strolled into the room. When the door opened and the lieutenant, became obvious that there was somebody there, this individual raised their arm and it turned into a weapon. Now,
so they're either
seeing what has happened.
Worry that they're either cybernetic or artificial entirely.
Yeah. So the lieutenant shot missing. And Sam swung out at the bottom and shot, doing a little bit of damage. But walking up in the near calm way that a clone does a lot of times, you walk up, raise your weapon, and the 3 of you standing in the door, fairly difficult shot. But just raise your weapon and shoot this creature just below the head and the neck. And sparks and metal fly. And you watch this creature fall over. Part of the hood ripping away, exposing that this appears to be some form of bioroid. Or full automaton of some sort. And that is where the scene is at this point. We are out of initiative.
Nobody messes with my lobby.
Yeah.
Get him, Jaxine.
All right. And in fact, I think this is a good point for us to go ahead and break for this episode. When we come back, what exactly have we found out?
And that will do it for us tonight on Seriously, Let's Play.